Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors at Trillium. Is there a situation in your life today that disturbs you, causes you to be frustrated, makes you feel a bit uneasy, perhaps puts you in a place of helplessness at times? Is there a situation in your life today that causes you not only to be disturbed, but it causes you to be a disturbance to others? A situation that so frustrates you, so confounds you that you're constantly crying out about it, constantly maybe even complaining about it. There's a story in the Gospel of Mark about a man named Bartimaeus. He was a blind beggar living in the city of Jericho. The story takes place just before Passover. That's a major festival in Judaism of the time. Still is today, actually, a major festival in modern Judaism. Jesus and his disciples are in a large pilgrim band moving from the countryside through Jericho onto the holy city for Passover. Now, I imagine Bartimaeus is not the only beggar in Jericho. Imagine there are many people begging for support in Jericho. I once knew a guy that had spent a part of his life begging on the streets of Toronto. He told me that begging is a numbers game. The importance of location becomes critical. You need to get the most traffic in order to get the most reward for one's effort in begging. It's like pretty much every other endeavor. Location, location, location. He said to me there's actually a hierarchy in the begging community that he was a part of. People knew where they were allowed to stand or sit and knew where they're not allowed to stand or sit. Woe be you who crossed the line of permission, crossed the hierarchy. There's a hierarchy, and people higher up in the hierarchy got the better location. Jesus and this pilgrim band are moving towards Jericho, and I would imagine that there are lots of beggars lining the street as this crowd comes into the city. But in the story of Bartimaeus, it says that he's actually on the other side of Jericho as the crowd leaves, which means Bartimaeus is low in the hierarchy of begging. If begging is a precarious place to be, he's even in a more precarious place because he's low on the hierarchy of this community. By the time the crowd gets to Bartimaeus, they're exhausted of their natural capacity to be generous. They don't want to see any more beggars. They've seen enough. They've given away the money they have, and they don't want to hear any more calls for help. In that moment, Bartimaeus realizes that his opportunity to get support from the crowd is diminishing. And he hears that Jesus is in the crowd, and he begins in an act of desperation to cry out to Jesus. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. It says in the scripture that he repeated this twice, but I imagine it was a mantra that he said over and over again, trying to break through the din of the crowd as it goes through, trying to somehow get Jesus' attention. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. You know, persistence is an important characteristic in life. It's an important characteristic for success and in our endeavors. It's an important characteristic in being a successful beggar. Being persistent is an important, essentially critical characteristic to make our lives successful. Somehow being able to be persistent and being helpless to the world around us is so important. It means that when we're in a situation of helplessness or a challenging moment in our life, that we need to not only be disturbed, but we need to make a disturbance. We need to let people around us know that we are in trouble and that we need help, which is not an easy thing for us to do, because who knows how the world's going to react to us when we do this. In Bartimaeus' case, as he cried out to Jesus, the crowd told him to shut up. They didn't want to hear any more of it. That didn't stop him, though. Bartimaeus was, if nothing else, persistent. He kept crying out to Jesus for help. And finally, somehow through the crowd, the din of the crowd, all the noise, Jesus hears his voice come to him. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus says to the crowd around him, well, find this guy for me. I don't know who it is. Bring him up. And so the crowd tells Bartimaeus that the Lord's asking for him to come on up. And there's Bartimaeus standing before Jesus. And Jesus says to him, what would you have me do for you? How do you want me to help? Bartimaeus knows instantly what he's going to ask for. He says to Jesus, I want my sight back again. Give me my sight, please. I wonder if we were standing before Jesus in our own neediness and our own helplessness, would we be able to articulate in such a clear way what it is that we're asking for. Somehow by being bold with God, by being clear and direct, by crying out to God in very clear and concise ways what it is we need, we give God permission to be at work in our lives. And not only God, but our neighbor too. So next time we're in a tough situation, next time we're disturbed, next time we're feeling a bit helpless in life, and we need the help of others around us, whether it's God or our neighbor, let's try our best to be bold and clear in what we need. Let's cry out persistently with the promise that what we make clear will be done in our lives by the Lord and by each other.